surviving controversy, crises, pain, and suffering, rising to the occasion. Life is not a bed of roses. It is a battlefield where we face controversy, crises, pain, and suffering. Some crumble under adversity, seeking refuge in comfort and avoidance. But those who rise to the occasion are the ones who understand that hardship is inevitable. They prepare for the worst, remain cautious but not paranoid, and keep moving forward. Winston Churchill once said, "If you're going through hell, keep going." This essay explores the necessity of resilience, mental fortitude, and strategic preparation in adversity. Adversity is a given, not an exception. Hardship is not an anomaly. It is a fundamental aspect of life. The ancient philosopher Epictetus stated, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Life does not guarantee ease or fairness. Those who expect an uninterrupted path of success and joy are often the first to collapse under the weight of reality. Statistics show that nearly 70% of people will experience at least one significant traumatic event in their lifetime. This could be financial ruin, health crises, betrayal, war, or the sudden loss of a loved one. Yet those who train their minds to endure hardship beforehand fare far better than those who live in denial. The world does not wait for us to be ready. It moves forward regardless. Thus, we must prepare before the storm arrives. A prime example of resilience is Viktor Frankl, a Holocaust survivor and author of Man's Search for Meaning. He endured unimaginable suffering in Nazi concentration camps, but found that those who survived were not necessarily the strongest physically, but those who found meaning in their suffering. Frankl wrote, "When we are no longer able to change a situation, we are challenged to change ourselves. Hope for the best, prepare for the worst." There is a balance between optimism and realism. Blind optimism is dangerous as it ignores the reality of life's difficulties. However, pessimism can be equally paralyzing. The solution is pragmatic preparation. The ancient Stoics practiced premeditatio malorum, the meditation on worst-case scenarios. This practice did not make them paranoid, but gave them the mental preparedness to face anything without panic. Consider the survival mindset in military and law enforcement training. Special forces, Navy SEALs, and elite operators do not hope for easy missions. They train for the worst conditions imaginable. Admiral William H. McRaven, a former Navy SEAL, emphasized this in his famous speech, "If you want to change the world, don't ever, ever ring the bell." This referred to the bell that SEAL trainees could ring to quit. Those who endure hardship without retreating are the ones who make it through. Likewise, companies planning for economic downturns are far more resilient in business and economics. Studies show that companies with contingency plans survive at a 60% higher rate than those without. Individuals must take the same approach. Financial hardship, job loss, or health problems are not if, but when situations. Those who save money, build skills, and stay mentally strong survive better than those who hope things will always be easy. Facing adversity. Without fear, stress, or worry. Fear, stress, and worry are natural reactions to adversity, but must be controlled. Jesus Christ himself spoke against worry. "Therefore do not be anxious about tomorrow, for tomorrow will be anxious for itself." Matthew 6:34. Worrying does not solve problems. Action does. Psychologists have found that 90% of what people worry about never actually happens. Psychology Today. This means that most fears are illusions. The best way to counter stress is through preparation, discipline, and faith. Preparation. Those with a plan of action respond to crises with clarity rather than panic. This is why emergency response teams constantly train before disasters strike. Discipline. Self-control in thought and action prevents fear from taking over. The great Stoic emperor Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Faith. Faith in God, principles, or a higher purpose gives people the strength to endure when all seems lost. The Apostle Paul, despite suffering beatings, shipwrecks, and imprisonment, said, "I have learned in whatever situation I am to be content." Philippians 4:11. Cautious but not paranoid. The middle path. Paranoia is counterproductive, but caution is wisdom. One must be alert to dangers without being consumed by fear. The Bible warns against blind recklessness. The prudent see danger and take refuge, but the simple keep going and pay the penalty. Proverbs 27:12. In modern times, successful leaders and strategists remain aware of potential threats, but do not allow themselves to become paralyzed by fear. Military generals, investors, and political leaders all make contingency plans. For example, Warren Buffett, one of the world's greatest investors, has consistently warned against financial overconfidence, stating, "Only when the tide goes out do you discover who's been swimming naked." His strategy is simple: always prepare for economic downturns, no matter how good things look. Those who follow this mindset in their own lives, by saving, diversifying income, and maintaining personal resilience, will survive hard times better than those who assume good times will last forever. Rising to the occasion. Strength through struggle. Greatness is not built in comfort. It is forged in the fires of struggle. History's most significant leaders and warriors did not rise because they avoided adversity, but because they met it head-on. George Washington led his troops through the brutal winter at Valley Forge, despite lacking supplies, and emerged victorious. The Apostle Paul continued preaching, despite beatings, shipwrecks, and imprisonment. Harriet Tubman risked death repeatedly to free slaves via the Underground Railroad. Thomas Edison failed over 1,000 times before successfully inventing the light bulb. Multiple publishers rejected J.K. Rowling before Harry Potter became a global phenomenon. The difference between failure and success is perseverance. As Theodore Roosevelt said, "It is not the critic who counts. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena." Conclusion. Strength in adversity, power in preparation. We cannot run home to mom and dad to hold our hands whenever life gets tough. Survival in this world requires mental toughness, preparation, and faith. Adversity is not something to fear. It is something to master. By expecting hardship, preparing wisely, and facing trials with courage, we do more than survive. We thrive. Life is not ice cream and cookies, but those who embrace the challenge will find themselves stronger, wiser, and more capable than ever imagined. As the Navy SEALs say, the only easy day was yesterday.